if the editor's really done their job, it's invisible. You don't notice the editing or see the editing. An editor gathers all the pieces that make a film. So in a documentary, it's footage that's been shot, it's music, it's the sounds of the environment, it may be still photos, it may be artwork, and then piece by piece by piece, we weave those together into what becomes the best version of that story. My name is Shirley Thompson. I call myself a veteran filmmaker because that sounds better than I have been doing this so long. I'm mostly known for the documentaries that I edit that end up on public television. I am based here in Honolulu, Hawaii, but New Orleans is home. I do not go home for the Christmas holidays. I go home to New Orleans during Mardi Gras, because Mardi Gras is the best day of the year. We let go of our personality and take on an alter ego. It's a big cultural melting pot of people from all over the world. My parents are both immigrants and came from other countries, and they met in New Orleans and stayed. Growing up a Spanish speaker and growing up in a Latin household, that has had a huge influence. I was always a writer. From the time I was 8 years old, I told people I was going to be a journalist. I started in journalism in college. It was the 80s. It was the Reagan era. There was a huge backlash against feminism, and women were basically being told, okay, you had your fun, now get back in the kitchen and go back to having babies. The first 3 jobs I got, I only got them because I was an affirmative action hire. You know, I remember asking, I'd like to be considered for this position, and have my boss look at me and say, I honestly never even considered you. I had to be better. I could not fail, because if I failed, not only would they be right, which was unacceptable, but it would also mess it up for any other woman who was coming up behind me. I just never got anybody shining back to me, yes, you could be great at this. It had to come from inside. I just had to love it. I wanted to edit feature documentaries. Nobody was going to hire me to edit a feature documentary. I'd never edited one before. So I went and made a feature documentary.
Yaya is young aspiration, young artist.
Yaya is me and the kids.
It's an experience.
It's the chance of a lifetime.
We're young, we're black, but we're making a difference, making a change.
A place to express.
Young Aspirations, Young Artists. That was my first film. It's also the only feature documentary I've ever directed. But the reason I did it is because I needed a thing to edit, because I wanted to be an editor and I needed a calling card.
Let's put that over here.
Calling names.
All right, well, let's put that kind of on the same side, since probably calling names is connected to me.
Elementary is a film that was made in 1995 about teaching elementary school children about gay and lesbian people in age-appropriate ways. It was completely revolutionary.
And then maybe the other person might catch it, and then they won't be able to get married. Yeah, but a man and a woman could have a disease also like that.
There was this extraordinary backlash to keep the work from being made and to tamp it down. And was kind of, the activist was born in me from then on. That social issues, social justice aspect of the work became super important to me, and that's my priority these days. That's really kind of all I want to work on. Marlene Booth called me. I could use an editor. Would you consider coming to Honolulu to edit my documentary about Pidgin, the language?
Before time, the first people in Hawaii used to talk Hawaiian. But early 1800s, the American missionaries would come, bring English with them. Mumbai, English was all over the place.
So I came here to edit a film, which turned out to be just such an important film for me, not only because what better primer for a haole who's about to move to Honolulu, but to work on a film about Pidgin. So to really just get immersed in the language and the culture and the people. Once I'm in the editor's chair, I live to serve. I'm there to serve the director, I'm there to serve the film, the story. You know, it's really easy to lose yourself in that. I've added a more serious meditation practice just to get myself centered and grounded. And the older I get, the more that it takes for me to do all the maintenance that's required so that this body can keep doing this work. So you just have, you're in the chair until it's done.
It took me half a lifetime to discover Li Ling Ai, and now a huge part of her story is missing.
I started editing it in 2011, and we finished it in 2016, and it was just done by the most tenacious director, Robin Lung, and basically Robin had to live the third act before we could know how the film was going to end.
It's as if Li Ling Ai reached out to me across the decades to say, don't give up.
As we were editing the film, what was happening in front of the camera was happening. So we were, in a way, just sort of documenting her journey. You know, as the editor, absorbing that director's vision, taking that whole director's vision into my body so I could hold it.
Because I went through as a single mom, and I can imagine what they're going through too.
And know, as well as they know, what they're trying to say. But then also understanding what the audience sees.
It was universal. It didn't matter what your skin color was, your faith, what country you came from.
As the editor, I represent the audience.
The basic definition of kuleana is responsibility. But I think within that lies every single value we've been taught from when we were small.
It's some of my happiest work that I've ever done because of the community that we've built. We have this amazing growing hui of filmmakers, and I have done so much work with women in filmmaking. The experienced filmmakers have been mentoring the emerging filmmakers, and they don't have to have such a hard time like I did. They're not, nose bent from having the door slammed in their face, Instead, we're like, you want to make films? Awesome. Come make films with us, And that's been a beautiful, beautiful experience.